Hey, how you doing? Great. Okay, on our play for this week. We know why the game publishers are so hungry over making live service games. Warframe and No Man's Sky shows us what longevity looks like, and it's pretty crazy. We have all the big announcements from Evo 2024. College football 25 is making big waves, surprising to me, um, very surprising. And then what is happening with Concord and the internet? All this and more on season 8, episode 29 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Video Games. Am I right? I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
Ooh, what does the M and F stand for?
Certainly not Fisher of Men.
Not at all. Not at all. That's an inside joke for like what, 6 people in total? Great times. All right. Now you know who we are. Press X Start Gamers Digest is a video podcast that connects the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We're live on YouTube every Sunday. Technically, we made it. We made it. When we can, because life is hard, especially today, boys, especially today.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Oh, my eye's kind of burning me. Oh, my gosh. Ugh. Getting old is just terrible. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, whatever podcast service you're currently tuned in on. And if you want, you can join our conversations by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. All right. Now with that taken care of and out the way, let us jump into the gaming news. Number 1. Report. 82% of US gamers made an in-app purchase in freemium titles in 2023. This comes to us from GamesIndustry.biz by way of Sophie McCoy. Yes. Okay. So as the title suggests, our new report found that 82% of American gamers made an in-game purchase in freemium titles last year. That's according to ComScore 2024 State of Gaming Report, published in partnership with in-game advertising platform Anzu. Never heard of Anzu until just now. The report also found that 62% of adults over the age of 18 engaged in gaming, with millennials comprising of 49%, the segment followed by Gen Z at 13%.
Gen Z is busy watching people play games or TikToking.
Yeah, and on top of that, okay, well, I'm going to finish reading, then we can go back to those numbers. Of those surveyed, 77% play more on one platform, with over a third regularly using a combination of console, PC, and mobile. US gamers spent 45 billion hours of gaming sites and apps last. What? US gamers spent 45 billion. Okay. Yes, they spent 45 billion hours on gaming websites and apps last year, with esports becoming an increasingly popular activity. Which, that part is interesting. I guess esports is picking up because I thought it was on decline. But yeah.
What esports are they watching? Owl is declining.
Gone.
Odd is declining.
Copies, yeah.
What do they consider esports?
Oh, you know what? League of Legends.
I
And
don't.
probably like the riots, like Valorant.
Valorant, I guess.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you think about it, those people are still looking for that content, and if Overwatch is on decline and Call of Duty is on decline, more likely they're going to jump to another thing, and it's probably Valorant. I mean, that's probably the closest you can get.
Avery,
Yeah.
where are you?
Right. An estimated 86% of Gen Z and 80% of millennials surveyed said they watched esports, while 53% of Gen Z and 61% of millennials say they engaged with esports content. Our 2024 State of Gaming report highlights the cultural significance of gaming and the vital role of gamers' behaviors for brands looking to tap into this dynamic and engaged audience, said ComScore's chief commercial officer, Steve
Bagdasarian.
Bagdasarian. There we go. Thank you for the save there. 'Cause that's that last name did not end. Okay. So yeah, these are just a bunch of numbers that got spit at us, and it's pretty interesting. So I just want to jump back to the line where 62% of adults over the age of 18 engaged in gaming, with millennials comprising 49% of the segment, followed by Gen Z at 13%. So that Gen Z number, I
Hmm.
find that interesting, but at the same time, I don't think that's super surprising in that this hobby is very expensive.
Yeah.
And like for example, I have a cousin that I gave my PS4 to, but he's only able to play the games he
The
really
games you
likes
gave him.
as
Yeah.
yeah, well yeah, the games I gave him plus he has to have PS Plus to really play online unless he's going to do like Fortnite or I guess he could do GTA online that doesn't require PS Plus.
I don't know.
But yeah, like yeah, I know, yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where like that sounds scary, but that also makes sense in that like the Gen Z right now are still technically kids. I mean, they might be like on the older end, but they just they don't have a normal 9 to 5 where they can just or have disposable income. Like that's kind of what it is. So looking at the numbers where millennials are 49%, which millennials are adults, right?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah, because they're considering Gen Z to be between the ages of 12 and 27. So
Okay. Yeah, man. Everything's more expensive right now too. So like or I guess since from last year. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm not super surprised by that. I mean, I think of course there is context with those numbers. Like what is your thoughts on all this?
I know I'm in that 18% that didn't spend a goddamn dime on no freemium stuff. Uh, Past maybe a
Sean said
battle
on
pass.
business, guys, if y'all ain't know.
Yeah, no microtransactions here. Um, what I do and don't like, unfortunately, is the legitimization of gaming as a hobby for an adult. Because I see from time to time like you're still playing games. That's some grow up type shit. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, it's brought in the sharks who are trying to over monetize everything and taking I don't want to say taking the passion out of quote unquote big budget games. What used to be, they weren't spending a couple 100 million to make a AAA game back in the day.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I mean, because go ahead.
and I was saying they're just looking to make
No.
that money back ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really weird thing of like we our generation in particular
Hmm.
literally got to witness capitalism take over the games industry because like this is basically just what it is
You
like
remember what it was?
yeah because it's like okay
Yeah.
there was a point in time where people were making video games in their garage and they really had to be creative with what they had because they didn't have much and
They had to
time and time
overcome
again
programming limitations and hardware limitations
yeah
just to get
because
out their
time and
quote unquote art.
exactly, exactly. Like that's what it was. Like time and time again, like when you have to be creative, be flexible, like you really create really strong art. And that's what we had. And that's what propped up the games industry. But now as technology progressed, a lot of the stuff is easy to do. So we have and which that's not necessarily a bad thing because that allows everyone to make games. Like that's how we have the boom in like the indie scene or whatever
Yeah.
but when you have all these people, all these different ideas coming to the market and really making the market more profitable, you are going to have the people who see the money and be like, oh, we can make money off of this. And then that just kind of infects the industry
Yeah.
and infects like how the games are made and why the games are made and how much money we can get off of the games. And that's where you get the live service model. And it's just,
And they've brought in experts from Vegas and other gambling
yeah,
entities to wring out every dollar.
yep, yep. And like it's one of those
But I
things
won't
where
fold. Okay, I'm sorry.
right. They're like, we're gonna fix our formula. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him with some secret recipe.
They're gonna come out with Parasite Eve and put some microtransactions and
Right?
make it a live service. And I'll be like, no.
Who would have thought?
Mm.
My only kryptonite. But yeah, it it is a thing of just like it's I mean I okay, like I'm part of the 82%. Hey guys, there's a game called Gun to Battle Operations 2 that's been out for like 6 years at this point. And like, am I a whale? No, I don't prescribe to be a whale. I watch people who are whales, but I do spend money on that game. And it's just like that's the only
And
Gundam
Call
game
of
that I
Duty.
have. And called it. Yeah, I do. But I don't really say it with my chest. I say it with my chest that I spend money on Gundam.
Mm.
But yeah, this is just like the cat is out of the bag now with this stuff. And like this is
Yeah.
just where we are. And it is going to be hopefully finding a balance between these live service games and the traditional I mean, at this point, like most multiplayer games are unfortunately live service games. So like the real traditional games are these single player games that are generally story driven or like puzzle driven or whatever. So yeah, it's it's an unfortunate thing where we are right now in the industry, but at the same
Yeah.
time, there are good live service games and there are bad live service games, and you just kind of have to pick your battles.
Let's
um,
move on from this tragedy.
yeah. Number two, big publishers eject too soon from live service titles, says Warframe boss. This comes
Mm.
to us
From the OG.
from yeah, from VGC. I wanted to include this especially because of the next story we're going to talk about.
Hmm.
So it's from VGC by way of Jordan Midler, and essentially this is an interview with VGC from
Is that
the
a screen cap from Warframe? Because I swear that looks like Anthem, by the way.
no, this is Anthem, but they're talking about they
Okay.
mention Anthem in the article.
Okay.
Say, wait, Warframe looks like this now.
The fuck?
So yeah, Digital Extreme CEO Steven Sinclair had said that game companies must have more faith in live service projects, even if they struggle at launch. So in an interview with VGC, Sinclair lamented the trend of large companies in live service spaces or live service space abandoning titles quickly following launch stumbles. This is a quote. They think the release is make or break, and it's not. They have a financial way to be persistent, and they never do it, Sinclair said. It comes out, doesn't work, and they throw it away. So he mentions that, okay, we have a couple of high profile titles that have shut down in recent years, according or including EA's Knockout City, which lasted just over 2 years, Smilegate's Crossfire X,
That was
which
trash.
lasted just over 1 year.
No fixing it.
Platinum Games, right? Platinum Games Babylon's Fall. That was also trash, which lasted just 11 months. And EA's Anthem, which had promise, which was closed after 2 years despite being a full price game. And
That
then,
was a solid game. They just didn't have any effing content. How did you plan on being a live service
exactly.
game? And
Yeah. And the caveat with Anthem is that it was a solid game. There was a promise for more content, and there was a bunch of stubbles internally with the studio, and they said we're gonna what do a whole we're gonna give it a year and figure out something. And like near the end of that year, they're like, okay, we're all done. We're not doing anything, and EA just shut the whole thing down. So essentially, so Sinclair says he added, isn't that a shame when you put so many years of your life into iterating on these systems or building technologies or building the state or the start of a community, and because operating costs are high, you get terrified when you see those numbers drop and you leave. So here's the thing, right? I get what he's saying,
mhm.
but it part of it kind of feels like uh, uh something you say when you're winning, you know? So it's like the for example, like Crossfire X, right? I think that was a 10-cent game. They
Mhm,
pumped a lot of money into that and like it was not good. And it's one of the things where it's like, all right, do we spend more money on this
mhm.
hoping that it gets better or is it just too late for us? And I think in a lot of these cases it was just too late. I mean, like Knockout City, I think that was actually sad to see that go down because that was like a really solid like dodgeball game, and it was there was nothing else really like it on the market. So it's just like for them to go down, it was I guess just purely people just stopped playing it, which sucks.
So this kind of plays into what we just were discussing with the last story, and that is the money aspect, which we've just mentioned in the story. But
Yeah.
because of all this consolidation and buyouts from mega conglomerates like Embracer Group, I don't know how many studios Tencent has under them.
A
Because
bunch.
we have people actually investing in these, companies, they need to see a return ASAP. This isn't more than
Yep.
likely coming from the studio. This is probably coming from the board, shareholders, all that good stuff.
Yeah. People who are giving the studios money to fund these projects and
But they don't
expecting a return.
exactly understand why games are fun
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
why certain things are succeeding. They're taking
Yeah.
elements off of a checklist and throwing
And
it
I
in there
bet you
and then
though,
throwing their hands up like, why didn't it work?
yeah, I bet you it's a thing of the publishers are giving the money to the developers and saying like, "Hey, make this game, make it a live service." And developers like, "Okay, we'll do this. We have these ideas." And then developers go back to the publisher like, "Hey, look, we're going to need more time, more money to execute these ideas to flush out this game the way we want to flush it." And then the publishers are like, "No, we gave you the money. Make the game with the money we gave you." And it's like,
They
"All right,
don't
well, I guess we got to
understand
cut
how
these
much it
things."
takes to make an actual game.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just like it just goes back to this being like such a
Warframe was
bad
able to do this
system.
in a cave.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And they look at like Fortnite, they look at Warframe, they look at freaking COD, and it's just like,
Yeah.
no, like for example, like okay, so Warframe that released on consoles in 2013.
Mhm.
Like that was a launch title for the PS4. And at that time, there was literally no other game that you could be playing on the PS4. Like I
Yeah.
jumped on Warframe and played that for a long time because I was just literally starved for
Okay.
content.
Yeah, it came out in March 2013 for Windows and then PS4 November 13. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
literally
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
8 months later.
Yeah. And like props to them. Like they carried
Stuck it out.
Warframe all the way through up until now, where at the end of this article they talk about Warframe 1999, which is a
Wow.
prequel to Warframe.
Hey, they just released
And
it on iOS in this past February.
oh dang.
Interesting.
Apple's like, check out this new game, guys. It just came out.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to just take this right into the next article, which is this comes from Eurogamer. Warframe 1999 expansion has a shopping mall, romance system, and you even get to fight a boy band. If you've played Warframe, this sentence makes absolutely no sense. Like totally no sense. So yeah, this article comes to us from Matt Wales. I'm gonna play the trailer because again, if you have played Warframe, none of this makes sense. For example, there are faces you can see of the people. They're in a shopping mall. That means they're
They
like
turned
on
into
Earth.
Fortnite basically. They pivoted. It's a
Yes.
shame. I tried to enjoy Warframe. I tried to play with DJ. I got stuck on a door and just deleted the game. What's the F this game? I don't know if you remember that, DJ.
No, I do. I do. And like, so yeah, I'm gonna skip around because this whole thing is like 22 minutes long, and we don't have
Yeah.
time to sit
I'm
and do
quick
all
to
that.
delete a game if it just
Yeah, and
pisses me
like
off.
Warframe was one of those things where like I forced myself to enjoy that game, then I found the fun. but I forced myself to enjoy the game because I had no other real games to play, guys. So I recommend you jump in Warframe now? I don't know. It's been so long since I've touched it.
You
I've
could have
jumped
played
into
Outlast,
it.
you scary ass nigga.
Why would I do that to myself? But like, yeah, so they have completely not so they've changed a lot of the game
Mhm.
by saying that this is a prequel, and the characters you playing in the prequel are the proto forms of the characters that you play in Warframe current. Because in the story of Warframe, you find out that like the like the mother character has like a dream or something and like summons these entities, or it's a crazy thing. I honestly couldn't tell you too much. I was hanging on by a thread just trying to remember the stuff that I remember from Warframe, and then like watching the stuff that I was watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this now you get a romance system, which I don't
Hey,
know what that
man.
is. I don't know. Like, it's cool though. Like I give them props for being able to oh look at
Stay
that.
relevant.
For being able to like, yeah, like be flexible and continue evolving this game. Like they're doing big stuff. And then on top of this, just to link this to, for example, First Descendant, which First Descendant is a lot of the systems is built off of Warframe. And just going back to
Warframe
Warframe and
meets
just like,
Destiny.
yeah, and like just going back to Warframe and looking, it's like, oh yeah, like there is the DNA of Warframe is all through First Ascendant. So they're Warframe, I guess, is just trying to
This looks
come back
pretty
up.
good, but they've had 10
Yeah.
years to iterate, so I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this expansion for Warframe is coming out this winter. So if this is interest you, you can check it out this winter. Um,
Very good.
yeah. Let me go ahead and just pause that because that is still playing. Yeah. So before we jump into the big events that happen at Evo 2024, hey, listener, viewer, how you doing? You good? Great. Like the video. Like the video. Even if you're listening, just pretend to like the video. Just click on the person in front of you. Just click on their shoulder. They won't understand, but you'll understand, and that's what matters. And also subscribe to this channel. Please, please. And then hit the notification bell. Do it. Okay. And then if you want, you can join a conversation by joining our Discord at pressxmgstart.com/Discord. We have fun times there. We talk about games, anime, um, life. Yeah, everything. One Piece. They talk about One Piece all the time.
Mhm.
I try to delete the messages, but it's just too much. I just can't. I can't delete all of them. So. All right, let us jump back into this with number 3. Evo 2024, all the announcements, reveals, and trailers from Polygon by way of Michael McWhorter. So, Evo happened this week. We record on Sunday. Evo was uh, Saturday and Sunday. I think Friday as well too.
Yeah.
So Evo. If you don't know, Evo is a big old tournament in Las Vegas where they have Street Fighter. Oh, this year they have Street Fighter 6, they have Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, and Mortal Kombat 1. Um, Evo is now owned by Sony. They bought them out a couple of years ago. So a lot of this is pretty much PlayStation focused or not in I think Xbox is I actually don't know if they play any of these games on Xbox unless it's like an exclusive Xbox game.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I actually think that it's a
Sony bought
majority
Evo, didn't
on
they?
yeah, I think it's majority on PlayStation consoles unless it's like an exclusive Xbox thing, like Killer Instinct was exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a bunch of surprising announcements out of this, which I found very interesting. The first thing, Heihachi Mishima is not dead, coming to Tekken 8. So, real quick, if you guys don't know who Heihachi Mishima is, he is a. You should know what Tekken is. I mean, if you should know what Tekken, we're going to assume that you know Tekken. Tekken's a fighting game. It's a 3D fighting game with cool characters. There's a wrestler with a jaguar mask that just rawr rawr. That's all he does. He just rawrs all the time. But Heihachi Mishima is sort of the villain throughout all the Tekken games, and he's been in every Tekken game except for 8, and it was a big thing because he was gone. He was supposedly dead. He died at the end of 7. At least what we thought. Turns out he didn't die. He's coming back. They have a trailer for him. Check it out if you are into Tekken. You will be hyped for this. I was hyped for this, and I was very surprised. Cyberpunk Edge Runners Lucy is coming to Guilty Gear Strive. This was a cool one too, because if you had given me 5 guesses and 4 hints on this collaboration, I would have not got it. I would have not got it at all. So it was really cool to see Lucy appear in the Guilty Gear Strive trailer, and I think it definitely that kind of works for because Lucy is from the Edge Runner anime that
Yeah.
Cyberpunk had,
And
so
they do
that
like this
really
song.
fits. Yeah, so that really fits in with the look and style of Guilty Gear Strive.
Gotcha.
Then we have Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, adding Verseria. I don't know what that is, but props to people who are excited for this. I'm happy for you. I am happy for you. And then the last but not least, Samurai Jack and Beetlejuice headed to multiverses.
I wonder what the numbers is like for this after a relaunch, because I seem to remember it not doing great.
So, Sean, as a person who is on the multiverses Reddit, it's all right.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not amazing. It's not dead. It's all right. So, I'm happy
You
for
know what?
them.
Good for them. They didn't cause they could have just not relaunched. They could have been like, uh, you know,
Yeah,
whatever. Sure, man.
yeah. Hey man, like props to them for saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna come back and we're gonna change it." They came back, they changed it. I played probably about like 5 or 6 hours of the relaunch of Multiverses. It plays well. It plays
I
well.
guess.
I just don't have the time to dedicate to that. Like fighting
It
games
was
are always hard.
it was decent to me, but nothing quite feels like
Smash
Smash
Brothers.
Brothers. Yeah. As much as I
That's
get
true.
my ass kicked in Smash Brothers, I would still rather play that than some of these knockoffs like Nickelodeon All Stars that
Nickelodeon. Yeah.
DJ convinced me to get because they got rollback netcode, whatever the hell that means. Thank you, DJ.
Did I do that? Was that me?
I don't even think he even bought the game, listeners. Son of a bitch. It's okay. I
Oh,
got
the way I noped out of that game so fast, I was like, "Oh
I'm
no, I was wrong there." Yeah, yeah, man. Like the next one of these sort of Smash clones, they need to be a Smash clone. Like that's what it just you make the game play like Smash Brothers and you change the characters. That's what you need to do. Do that next time.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's pretty much and then we have King of Fighters 15 adding mature and vice. Not mature as in the rating, mature as in the character. And vice as in the character and not the thing that will get you drunk. Um that's cool. And then Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves adds Kevin Rion to roster. I don't know who these people are. I'm trying my best, guys. I apologize if I am butchering your favorite fighters. I apologize. We got new art of fighting in Samurai Showdown action RPG. That's pretty cool. I missed this one. I didn't realize this was happening. I'm a big Samurai Showdown fan. That
Mhm.
cool. All right, and then last up that I'm going to talk about, we have SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos released on modern platforms. So this is a older versus game that's being re-released. It was released in 2003.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then just on top of this, I want to add that Marvel wants to make more crossover fighting games. Like this is SNK versus Capcom. They have Street Fighter versus X-Men. Basically, they want to do more of that stuff. So in the future, we'll see more of that stuff. Hopefully. So that's kind of it. Did you follow any of Evo with any of this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Didn't even know it was
Yeah.
happening at the time. I saw it after the fact.
Yeah.
Certain games I'm just I don't got nobody to play them shits no more. Unless you were
Yeah.
hard into the fighting game scene or you're younger and got friends. I mean, I have friends, but I mean, we don't play online, play fighting games online. You play this shit couch co-op, and
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, like I'm sort of the same way. Like I grew up on fighting games, but it's this thing of like you in order to play those games consistently, you have to dump a lot of time in it. And it's a thing of I'm just playing other games. So like I'm more than likely the way that I always interact with Evo is that Evo happens on that weekend. And then the following
mhm.
week I just watch a bunch of like Tekken and Street Fighter clips from Evo and I just get the super cuts and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I should have went. And I never go. Maybe next year I'll go. We'll see. We'll see. All right. And then I paired this up with the Evo news. Is this sucks? This is really unfortunate news. But number 4, Mortal Kombat developer NetherRealm Studios hit with mass layoffs. This comes to us from Insider Gaming by way of Matt Straw. So, ooh, this is chunking. So the developer of Mortal Kombat has been hit with mass layoffs as the entire NetherRealm Studios mobile team has been let go. First spotted via Reset Error posts began appearing on LinkedIn, starting that they were being let go and that the team was let go. Good
Mhm.
morning, Internet. Unfortunately, yesterday NetherRealm's mobile team was shut down. Quality assurance analyst Tony Lazara posted, a ton of very talented people were put out of work. So yeah, this sucks. Like it's one of those things where there was talks about them making a mobile Mortal Kombat game, and I guess it just didn't pan through, and they
No,
got
they
rid of
they
all the
have
people.
one.
They have one already that came out.
Yeah, I've played it.
Oh,
It's half
wait,
decent, I guess, for a
what
mobile game.
is?
But yeah, they have a Mortal Kombat mobile game out already.
Oh,
It's been out for years.
huh, interesting.
Maybe it wasn't doing too well anymore, but
Yeah, okay.
it's out.
Yeah, it probably didn't get enough traction then, and they're just letting it go. So yeah, so at least 50 people have been impacted by these layoffs. This brings the year's total to nearly 11,000 people let go from the jobs in the games industry
Yeah, came out in
that we know
2015,
of. Wow,
and
I am shocked by that.
has a rating of about 4.2 out of 5. So yeah, been out for a while.
That's actually not bad. Huh. If it came out in 2015, it's probably winding down, and they're not making a sequel, so they're
Yeah,
just shutting the whole thing down. And it's only if they're letting go 50 people, that is, yeah, more than likely they're just letting it go. Okay. Huh. Yeah, but again, it always sucks to, see this news about people being let go from their jobs and, making games. Hopefully those people are able to bounce back and work at other studios. But yeah. Um number 5. No Man's Sky is getting a complete universal refresh in one of its biggest updates ever.
yeah,
Man, No Man's
that's crazy.
Sky is like Warframe. Well, Warframe, of course, Warframe came out before No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky is another game that came out, and people were like, "What the hell is this? This is not what you promised. This game is trash."
Mhm.
And Hello Games, the developer No Man's Sky, was like, okay, we'll take that on the chin, but we promise we'll make this game better. And every year after that, they have updated and updated and updated and updated this
Yo,
game.
so they don't have any microtransactions or free to play mechanics at all? This is crazy.
No. Where is the money coming from, Sean? I have no idea.
Sean, whatever the hell his name is money laundering or
Layden.
something.
No,
'Cause
not Layden.
this is crazy.
Yo, like it is I don't it's hard to be like
Sean Murray or something like that?
Murray. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I remember that.
Like I don't like it. I think it's a combination of they are somehow able to keep selling this game and the team is small. Because I believe when Hello Games first started, when they first
Yeah.
put out No Man's Sky, it was like 12 people or something, or even less than that, I think. And they were relying heavily off of the procedurally generated aspect of the game to shortcut a lot of the jobs that normally they need, and it didn't work.
So
Didn't work.
they have sold over 10 million units since launch, and that was as of 2 years ago. And the fuck? In 2022, they earned almost 50 million. What?
No,
I
there has to be
insane.
microtransactions or some sort in this game. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. Okay, so
All right.
the actual
Shout out to Gucci.
the actual update is pretty massive. They're essentially some is calling this like their Hell Divers update in a way. So I'm just going to jump right in the middle of this article. Instead of a universal reset, as some predicted, Hello Games is calling this a universal refresh. Here's a summary of some of the major changes to how No Man's Skies will generate planets and what players experience on them. So, new water technology for waves and reflections. Waves are dynamic and will react to wind. Real quick, if you have not played No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky is a space exploration game. Think of Starfield, but with a
Better.
heavier focus on explore. Yeah, in terms of exploring, a lot better. Like you are literally flying to these planets. You can hyper jump to star systems, and if you see a planet, you can literally just fly through space until you get it. As you're flying, you'll hit asteroid belts. You will might find like derelict spaceships. You might run into space pirates. You might run into weird, crazy space entities that will communicate with you.
How crazy is
Like,
it that No Man's Sky almost launched almost a decade ago, and you could land on the planets there, and with Starfield, you're flying through them. Crazy work.
bro, it is it is still a feat of how crazy No Man's launch was when it launched, even though it launched in a poor state.
Poor
Like
state,
what you
yeah.
can do, yeah, like it's still insane to me. But like the one thing that I hated doing, and I guess it's a little bit of like what is the water the fear of large bodies of water, that phobia. I forget the name of it, but it's phasmophobia. No,
I don't know.
that's a
Keep going, man.
yeah. Um, the landing on a planet that's mostly water, I would always be like, nah, I don't want nothing, no part of this, and just fly off. I would just no, because
Nope.
there's exactly because there are the game generates creatures. So there's creatures on land and creatures in water, and you could take damage, you could die, you can lose your stuff. So there's a little bit of that, like I don't want to die on this planet. I don't want to strand my ship underwater and have to figure that out. Like, so yeah, yeah. But so yeah, so ships can land on water now, which is wonderful. New cloud tech for detailed skies with changing weather conditions, volumetric and atmospheric on planet surfaces for rolling fog, rain, blizzard, lava sparks, and other phenomena. weather systems that interact and develop in real time as players explore, new biomes, and more creatures to discover with more variety, all of which can become pets and mounts. This is so cool. The last time I jumped into this game, I made a giant dinosaur my mount and I was riding the dinosaur like freaking Jurassic Park. It was awesome. But yeah, this is cool. Like it's
Most
just
improved
amazing to
award.
see. Yeah. Like for sure. It's just amazing to see this game evolve. And then the other part of this update is that it's going to be there's a big um combat focus to this. So you'll be fighting bugs and insects like you do in Helldivers. So yeah, more power to them. Definitely check it out if you get a chance or if you're interested in this or even if you're not. Just try it. I mean, at this point, like you could probably get it on cheap and see if you like it. Oh, by the way, it's a survival game. I don't know. I don't think I said that at all, but it's a survival game. Um, Number 6. Microsoft hits back at the FTC's misleading letter that called Xbox Game Pass Standard a degraded service as a result of Activision Blizzard buyout. This comes to us from Games Radar. Where are you at? Games Radar by way of concern. So this is a response article to the original article about the FTC essentially calling out Microsoft for increasing the price of Game Pass. And the reason why they called out Microsoft is because one of the big things that FTC was fighting against the Activision Blizzard buyout was that they feared that Xbox was going to buy out Blizzard or buy out Activision Blizzard. Once everything settled, they were going to raise the price of Game Pass to essentially capitalize off of what they bought or Call of Duty essentially. So Xbox or Microsoft raised the price of Game Pass, and FTC said something about it, and then now
Yeah.
Microsoft is like, well, it's misleading to say that the Xbox Game Pass standard service is a degraded service because what their response is that Xbox Game Pass console didn't have or doesn't have online, whereas standard gives you access to online. So you're actually gaining a thing for jumping to standard, but you're also losing day one games, but you're gaining internet or
This is
internet access.
Effery. Next story. This is just Effery. We called this a while ago. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Walmart and Amazon effect. You come in, swoop in, buy up everything. There's nowhere else to go.
And you start price
PlayStation
fixing.
doesn't, PlayStation doesn't have a comparable. People don't love PlayStation Plus as yet. The same as Game Pass. It has some growing
Yeah,
pains.
yeah,
I'll admit that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this
People
console is
don't
going.
look at PS Plus the same way they look at Game Pass. Like they do different things essentially. They both have games on it, but do sort of different things. Yeah, and that's kind of it. Like it's going to be a back and forth with them because this is at this point it is about semantics. And I'm not saying FTC is wrong. I'm not necessarily saying that
Hmm.
Microsoft is wrong, but this is just a war on semantics, a war of semantics.
Yep.
Number 7. 2.2 million people were willing to pay $100 to play college football 25 3 days early. This comes to us from IGN.
Mm,
Um, yeah, this is college football. So I had a conversation with Jordan because he was like,
yeah.
this article comes to us from Wesley Impel. We were talking about Concord. We're going to talk about Concord at the end of this. And he was like, man, running the beta this weekend probably wasn't a great idea because college football 25 came out today. And he referred to it as NCAA. And I was like, what is NCAA? I have no idea what that is. And he explained to me what it was. And I was like, oh, I kind of feel like the audience doesn't really mesh between like the shooter audience with the football audience.
Well,
But
I think it does, but
yeah,
not the Overwatch audience. Because this is Concord is the Overwatch audience.
yeah.
College
So yeah,
football is the COD, audience.
Right, right. So yeah, I think it's and you know, 2.2 unique players is that's a lot of people. Like props to them for getting that many people to buy the $100 version of this game.
220 million. Oof.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's just like, man, this is making waves. Like I am really interested to see what these numbers end up being like when they look at the Sakana report. Because this is definitely probably going to be number one for July, possibly with this kind of start to it. But then again, it is a thing of like, okay, well, you're at what you said, 200,
220 million.
220 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're at that now.
Expect this to be the standard for a lot of games moving forward now.
True, true. So yeah, it is a thing of just like, man, this is tracking really well. I wonder how far this will go. And, is it a thing of, oh, this is one of the best selling games of the year? Like that would be pretty cool. And then also to know, because I have no idea, we haven't seen the last college football game we got was like 10 years ago or something, or 11 years ago or something, like a really long time. So yeah, it's cool to see this come up. Did this affect Concord? No, we're gonna talk about that. We can talk about that. But yeah, this is cool. I don't really got too much to say about this because I'm not a football person. But then on top of that, college football 25 seemingly led to huge spike in Xbox console sales. This
Good for
comes to
them.
us from Pure Xbox. Yeah, yeah. It seems that specifically this led to more Xbox Series S sales.
Ah,
This games,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. Never mind.
I mean, you know, that makes sense, right? You buy the cheaper box to play your football game. Like, what? You don't really
But
need
if you're
all the
willing to
crap.
spend the extra $100 to s- play this shit earlier, that means you're spending money. Why would you not buy the better box? I don't know, whatever.
Because they spent the money on the game and not the box, John. You know what I
I
mean?
guess, I
And
guess.
you know what? You know what? And it's definitely a thing of these people are probably the one game kind of
I
gamer.
wonder if it's on Game Pass.
I don't think so. I feel like it would have shown. I mean, oh wait,
I'm looking.
no, it's not even been 48 hours since EA Sports
Oh,
College
it's not.
Football 25. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, okay. Oh, there's a free Game Pass Ultimate trial.
Hmm.
That's smart. Good job Xbox for meshing that. But yeah, it's also to note that like the College Football 25 is on everything essentially. So it's PlayStation as well. So pretty sure it's doing well on there too. Seeing
Mm.
how a majority of the players now are console players are on PlayStation or whatever. So yeah, that's awesome. Number 8, before we jump to the quick hits, Amazon is now selling a no console required Xbox bundle. This comes to us from IGN. This is so. This comes to us from Robert Anderson. When we first saw this, it was like, oh, this is interesting. Like even the subtitle to the article is that is this the future of Xbox? I don't think this is the future of Xbox. I think this is just Xbox okaying
Expanding.
this
Yeah.
like yeah, this bundle that's coming from Amazon is just like, yeah, if you got controllers and you got Fire Stick, yeah, sure, just put them together and sell them. It works. So if it works, it works. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a much cheaper um way of playing Xbox games. You just get
Yeah.
the Fire Stick that
It's
has
about
Xbox Cloud
$80.
Gaming. Yeah, is that
So
is
that
that
is
with a
a
controller?
yes, that's
Oh,
a
no,
$40 savings versus buying a controller
there
subscription
you go.
and the streaming sticks separately.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a cool bundle. Will this move the needle for Xbox? We really don't know. It's one of those things where it's like the people who are getting this are essentially that blue ocean sort of gamer thing that I was talking about a few episodes ago, like the Nintendo strategy. This could work. This could be really helpful for their numbers. We don't
Mm.
really know. We won't really know until they say something, which they probably won't. But yeah, that's cool. Um, so last little bit of news is essentially just our quick hits. Number 9, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta dates confirmed. First beta on all platforms at the same time. This comes to us from IGN by way of Cat Bailey. So yeah, Call of Duty Game Pass or Call of Duty Call of Duty Game Pass. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be coming to um you, the early access beta will be available to people who either pre-order the game or get it on Game Pass. Early access times are August 30th to September 4th. Then the open beta is September 6th to September 9th. I don't know what days those are because September 4th and September 6th are pretty
Mhm.
close to each other. Seems kind of weird. But yeah, that's cool. And this is the first time that the beta access is available to all platforms because from this point, before it's been exclusive to PlayStation platforms, and as a PlayStation gamer, I had no idea. So yeah, that's cool that everyone gets to play this at the same time. Are you gonna pre-order Black Ops 6 or are you just gonna get it when it comes out?
Uh, I'll probably wait till I don't know yet. I'm undecided.
Yeah.
I'm undecided.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too. I think at the end of the day, I'll probably get it, but I'm definitely not like pre-ordering it. I'm definitely
Yeah, this ain't like 10 years ago where this was my main game. I
yeah,
need to play this day one. Like
yeah, yeah. And then it's like specifically for me, like Black Ops is generally not the Call of Duty that I really follow, but this is I my whole thing is like, oh, they have old guns, and they don't have old guns here, so
you
I
might
can't
check
use
it
that as an
out.
excuse
Yeah.
anymore. So yeah, and then you can also move around like a fish on the ground or whatever with the omnidirectional things and stuff. Um, yeah, so that's cool. Check it out when it comes out because it'll be out. Number 10,
Mm.
the next Ryuga
Just
Gotoku
say
game.
RGG.
RGG, yeah, I know,
The Like a Dragon
yeah.
Studio.
Game will be revealed at TGS 2024. This comes to us from VGC by way of Jordan Midler. So yeah, the next Like a Dragon game is gonna show TGS. They just
Yeah.
released Infinite Wealth this year.
I mean, they banging out games left and right.
They
They're
do.
striking while the iron
They
is
do.
hot because
Yeah.
typically those games, as they said, did not sell well. Initially, they built word of mouth, and that's just been their MO. But Like a Dragon is the new hotness after Like a Dragon
Yeah.
7, and then what the hell, the man who forget the name, lost his name. I forget the name
The
of the
man
game.
who erased his name. Yeah.
There you go. And then Like a Dragon 8, like they're just striking while the iron is hot because they reuse a lot of assets,
Yeah.
and it's easy to just crank them out. They just need to storyboard them and record the lines. A lot of the stuff is reused.
That's true. That's true. So and then the RGG one of the developers said that the fans will be surprised by this next title. I don't know what that means. I mean, I, I would imagine this would be like some like kooky expansion content for the game or something. Like I know a lot of people spent hours in that Animal Crossing, the town builder stuff.
Yeah.
It may I don't know. I don't know. But this is really interesting. I think this is going to make headlines once they actually show what the game is because, as you said, they are striking us with the iron being
Yeah.
hot. Jeez, I just completely just messed that up. But yeah, I don't know. I'm down for it though. I still need to play Infinite Wealth. I will play Infinite Wealth, Sean. I will
Maybe
play
they'll
Infinite
actually.
Wealth.
No, it's okay. You don't gotta lie to me. We're not in a relationship. Um, Maybe they may actually kill off Kiryu. Who knows?
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But
So,
maybe they will.
so I decided I'm going to play Infinite Wealth and I'm not going to play Final Fantasy Rebirth this year. Like maybe next year, but like at this point,
Man, I am
there's nothing
struggling
there.
to get through Final Fantasy.
There's just nothing there, man. Like it's pretty. I get it, but like beyond that, I don't get it. All right. Number 11. Jesus. Okay. Just under 2 weeks. Endless Zone Zero has already made $50 million.
Yeah.
This comes to us from PC Gamers N. I don't know how you're supposed to read that title or whatever, but yeah. This is by way of Ashley Schlofield. Cool name. Yeah, they're making money as they do because this is a Hoyoverse game, and Hoyoverse games generally make money because they have that formula down pat. Number 12. Baldur's Gate 3 Patch 7 may finally add everyone's favorite bard to the party. This comes to us from IGN by way of Ryan Dinsdale. So I threw this on here, even though
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a 2023 game of the year, one of the games of the generations or whatever. The bard in particular is Alfreda, no Alfrea, and I thought when I played the game,
Mhm.
I thought I could add her to my party.
Mhm.
So it became a thing of like I was constantly talking to her, being like, she can't join my party. Like
You're trying to
she
raise her up?
I mean, if the option was available, Sean, if the option was available, could have made things happen. But it was a thing of just like, wait, I can't add her to my party?
Did
This is weird.
we
Like she
talk about matter of fact, keep going. Keep going. You
oh
couldn't add it to your
yeah,
party.
it was just a thing of like it was kind of shocking that I couldn't add her to my party because she felt like she was like one of the playable characters just because of how much time they give her, like her personality and even just her look. Her look was like very different from the other characters around her. But yeah, now you can actually play as her. Go ahead.
So I don't know if we talked about this yet, but what was it? Larian? Larian?
Larian
What was it?
Studio.
There you go.
Yeah.
They won so many awards for Baldur's Gate 3 that it was disrupting work. It was disrupting development on whatever they're making in addition to patching, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
So they started sending out a rotating, set of people to go accept the awards. They were just getting
Yeah.
that many awards. I just
What?
had to throw that
Okay,
out there.
guys. That is pretty crazy. Dang. But that's cool though. I mean, it's a good game. Like it's one of
What a
like I'm listening to a
wonderful
D&D
problem
podcast
to
right
have.
now. Exactly, right? I'm listening to a D&D podcast right now. Shout out to Give Me the Loot. And I want to play Baldur's Gate after every time I listen to the podcast. It's like, oh, this is fun. I remember those days of rolling on disadvantage and advantage, whatever. Okay, last up, number 13. Bethesda Game Studio workers have unionized. This comes to us from The Verge by way of Jay Peters. So, more than 200 workers have formed a union at the legendary studio. So, this is Bethesda Game Studio. This is the studio that I did some testing at way back when. So, props to them for finally getting unionized. And they're under Microsoft now. Microsoft is okay with unions. So, this is great. So, more power to them. So that's it. That is it for the gaming news. Surprisingly, it was a pretty hefty one. So we will talk about the games we've been playing. And Sean, what have you been playing?
For some reason, I booted up Remnant from the. I guess it's not Remnant from the Ash. It's just Remnant 2.
Is this Remnant 2?
Yeah, from the Ash. I
How,
guess is the first subtitle.
how
It
did you like it?
it was fun, but you
Yeah.
need people to play with because
Yeah.
sure I could join on other people's games, but they're not in the same area that I'm in, so I just be skipping around in the story, I guess.
Yeah.
However that works. They called it Dark Souls with guns. It was plenty hard. I beat one boss solo after like 3 tries, and then I was like, all right, this is a lot. Let me just
Yeah.
go ahead and call this a day. You need
I
people to play that with.
Yeah, I'm down for playing that with you. Like I enjoyed my time with Remnant of the Ash, the first one,
Hmm.
but it was a very hard experience and it was not very forgiving. And it was a thing of like, man, this would be much better with people to play with. And like I couldn't really find the fun playing it solo. And eventually I just stopped playing it. But like, yeah, that was free on PS Plus, right?
Yep, that's how I played it.
Yeah, I gotta claim it. But yeah, that's cool. Like I heard a lot of good things about Remnant too, and it was like, oh,
Yeah,
I just didn't see myself really diving into it
yeah,
when it first came out. But now it's free. That's cool. Um, Yeah, so I just wanted to end this with just an update with Concord. And so I've joined the Concord Discord, no, the Concord Reddit. And like this weekend there was an open beta where everyone essentially can jump in and play Concord. And it was a very interesting thing to see the shift in that Reddit specifically. Like there's a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff where people, it kind of feels like people are jumping on the bandwagon of, oh, this game sucks. And when you watch the videos, it's not really an in-depth reason on why they feel like the game sucks. It's more so just like, oh, the characters look ugly. And it's like, okay, you're not gonna, you go talk about like the actual gameplay, and it's just like, okay, this is sort of like clickbaity in a way. So there is a big negative push for this game. And it's sort of weird to see, especially, with us following games for so long and seeing like how this game's like, it almost feels like this is being treated like Suicide Squad. When that came out, people were just like, oh, this looks terrible. And then I don't know if people actually played the game to be like to confirm it, but this is different because this is open beta, so anyone can jump in, and that's the whole thing. Last week there was the early access version of it, and when that finished, there was a few articles that came out essentially saying like, oh, the game has solid gameplay, and it has the fidelity of the character models and stuff look great. But it seems that everything is kind of flipping over to the negative. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to tell if this is the vocal minority or if this is the actual majority, like literally being like, no, this is not the game that we want to play. So essentially, Fire Sprite is in a very interesting position. I personally, I think Concord is a cool game. It's very different from the first person shooters that we have now. They have this cool system called the crew bonuses, which allows you to like stack on buffs from different classes of characters that you play with. And by the end of the match, you can have all these buffs on the characters that you're playing that sort of allow you to like be faster running, have better recoil, have better reload speed, have faster dodge, and basically like supercharges your character if you play the different classes throughout the game. But the game also does a terrible job at telling you how to play the game. And I think that is the biggest mistake that has happened with this whole launch of an early access. Um, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, this is actually a really interesting thing to see happen to the game. Where when it first showed, it was like, oh, this Guardians of the Galaxy Overwatch ripoff game thing, what's happening to this? And it kind of felt like that first impression
Yeah.
was what everyone was like, that's what that game is. Like, it wasn't able to really shift. And it's also a thing of, I will be interested to see what PlayStation does next week or even this week coming up, if they're like, "Oh, Concord got 2 million players or something. Like Concord got X number of players." Like if they do that, then it's like, okay, then they they're probably still feeling good about the game, even though there was just a bunch of negative stuff happening online with it. If they don't do that, that's a problem. That's a problem. And then
Mm.
there's the whole argument of, this game costs $40. This game should be free to play because all the other games in this genre is also free to play. And I think we talked about it last week, and I was like, I still feel like it could be $40 and be fine.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind.
Oh.
It should be free to play. It should be free to play. Like,
Alrighty.
I yeah, it should be free to play, and they should figure out what to do with the monetization strategy and stuff after the fact. Because as it is right now, like they need to win, and I think they want to follow the Helldivers formula, but like live service games, you always have to adapt. You always have to change up, and you have to listen to that audience. And it's thing of like, if the audience that you are listening to is saying make the game free to play, make the game free to play, and then just figure out after. That's what the Warframe dev said essentially. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say on Concord. Like this weekend is the last um beta for the weekend before it releases in August. And I I played it a little bit this weekend. I didn't really get a chance to really dive into it, but like they made they made changes to some of the characters, and like some of the damage values is different. But there was also this weird lag that I had, and I think it was probably because there was more people on. But throughout the weekend, I wanted to check the Steam numbers, and the Steam numbers was like floating around 100 oh no, 1,500 people. And I was like, that is incredibly low. Like that is really, really low. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure Steam DB is pretty reliable in terms of like
Yeah.
number tracking. So I don't know.
We'll see in a month how it does. Comes out
Yeah, exactly.
August 23rd.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see. Good luck to them. Hopefully they can turn this around, because boy, it is rough goings. It is rough goings. All right. That has been it for the games we've been playing. That has been it for Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you are listening and you don't want to do those three things because you're listening and not watching. Because if you're watching, you're definitely going to do those three things. You can leave us a review. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, whatever podcast service you're using, just leave a review there. Let us know how you are enjoying our content. And when you're enjoying, you don't have to tell us when you're enjoying our content. That's a little too much information. So yeah, just tell us that you're enjoying our content. We appreciate that. So yeah. All right. You take care. You be safe. You keep playing games. Keep washing your hands, because you can definitely get sick. Put some sunscreen on, because the sun will disrespect your skin. It'll do it slowly but effectively. All right. Take care. Okay. Get it.
We did it, Reddit. So, let me start. They said that